I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Let me tell you a little bit about Tyler Durden.
In the ear.
The first rule of the video store is you rewind the tapes. Second rule of the video store is you rewind the tapes. And the third rule, welcome to the Video Store Clerks Podcast. We're back. I missed you guys.
Missed you, man. It's kind of weird.
Man. Welcome back.
We disappeared. We all got sick around the same time.
I got older since last time. I'm 40 now.
Happy birthday, Chucky.
Happy birthday. Yeah, we were gonna throw you a party, but
we fucked it
we
up.
fucked it up.
It happens.
Welcome once again to the Video Store Clerks Podcast. This is episode 98, and tonight we will be talking about The Fight Club. Classic film. We'll dive. We'll dive. I broke the first two rules. We are your clerks for the evening. I'm Dave.
Jimmy.
In Project Mayhem, we don't have names.
But if you did.
Oh,
Nice.
it would be Mike.
I'm Chuck Nasty.
Beautiful. So once again, we'll be talking Fight Club. We'll have our random clip of the week, and we have some big news concerning our show, so stay tuned for that. But we will start the program as we always do with the news.
You are not human. You are a piece of shit. Watching the news.
At the show,
What the hell? Did
We
they have
broke
like
that.
did they have a live studio audience or some shit for the news?
I guess it was like on like one of those like those funniest home videos.
3 minutes in.
He just couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle that cock.
I missed you guys so much.
Yeah,
You don't even know.
The cock.
Oh, the news
That
for
was
this
a good
evening. We'll
one.
start with the box office of this past weekend. Not many people went to the movies.
Oh, wait, we forgot something.
Oh, we did? What did we forget? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, shit, man.
We're out of practice.
Coming in at number one this past weekend was Mean Girls.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
it. Number two, The Beekeeper. And number three, hanging in there, is Wonka, which has done pretty well so far this year. Brought in $188 million in its sixth week here in the U.S. domestically. Rounding out your top 10, coming in at number 4 was Migration. Anyone but you hangs in there at number 5. I don't know. I don't know.
What is that?
It's that movie with what's her name? Sydney Sweeney? Is that her name? No, no, neither. Bob
I
doesn't.
don't understand what you speak.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom dropped to number 6. A film called ISS.
Oh, it's that space one. That looked interesting.
Really?
I'm not
It debuted at number 7. $3 million.
I thought he was spelling something else there.
Oh. Night Swim dropped all the way to number 8 already. George Clooney's The Boys in the Boat, number 9. And Poor Things stays at number 10.
No more snakes.
I know, right? I wonder what place it's in. I should find out.
What is it? I'm so lost.
Snakes.
It's
Snakes.
the Hunger Games, the House of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah.
A movie
I heard
we'll
Night-
never watch.
I heard
Ever. But
Heard
damn,
Night
I
Swim.
love the title.
Night Swim sucked. I heard
I heard it sucked.
I'm sure it
How many
did.
people made it?
I mean,
people
yeah, and it's like, how you gonna make a whole movie based on a short film? You got like one part, then I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
don't
I'm
know.
okay with that kind of shit, but it has to be executed all right. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of movies that happen in one place, but it has to be executed like right. You know what I mean?
Well, as soon as
Saw, phone booth, shit like that. You know, I didn't have a problem. I thought it was an interesting concept, but after the reviews I've heard from some of my friends, I'm not really that in a rush to see it now. I was like, oh, that sounds like kind of an interesting idea. Oh, it's Blumhouse, maybe. Man, no, that's what I get. That's what I get for just being like, maybe.
tried.
Everybody's like, no, it
You gave
sucks.
him
You hate
another
it.
chance.
Fuck that.
As soon as I see
But I
their
did-
logo, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I did have
Yeah.
people tell me they liked the Beekeeper though.
Yeah. I am actually curious about the Beekeeper. I've heard good things about it.
It's Statham back like how he was. It's
Transporter.
like
Transporter.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
all it is. But it took me a minute. Like I didn't know why they call it Beekeeper, and then the trailer it mentions why, and I was like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm curious about it too. I'll find out.
He's a fun action hero to watch though.
Yeah, I like pre-Expendables Statham.
Yeah,
Crank Statham.
Yeah,
definitely.
Jeff
That's
Jacobs.
probably
That's
my
my favorite one.
Statham.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Me too.
I like both of them.
In other news, oh my God, about 7 a.m. this morning, the internet broke as WWE's Monday Night Raw will be moving from cable to Netflix starting January 2025. It is reportedly a 10-year deal worth $5 billion.
$5
$1 billion.
billion.
That's right.
Lane Brothers.
Craziness.
We could do a whole episode on that.
So is
I
it
know,
not going
right?
to be on Peacock anymore then?
No.
Well, Raw was never on Peacock.
It
It's
wasn't.
been on
Okay. I'm out
USA.
of the loop all that shit. But so like,
Yeah.
will there still be the channel on Peacock though, or is that totally different?
That's just
The
pay-per-views.
Okay. Premium live events are going to be on Peacock still for now, and then
Okay.
only Raw is moving to is moving to Netflix, but not necessarily on Monday nights.
That's so
So
weird.
we'll see.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
So weird.
Some other rumors are that the show will be ad-free, commercial-free, and praise God, go back down to 2 hours.
I thought you were going to say titties, but
Well, you could do that. That's the thing. You know, they got freedom to do whatever they want on Netflix. They can go for a higher rating, or they can go for as
let's
long as
bring back the Attitude Era, please. Do you
That'd
remember
be
how
great.
amazing
If
those
they wanted
fucking
to.
like shows were?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
it'll
we'll
be
wait and see.
interesting.
This time next year.
Then
We'll be
I-
talking about it. I'm
Then I'd
sure.
watch wrestling more. 'Cause I
I'm
don't
sorry, I
watch it
don't
at all.
love that shit. Every now and then I'll go back and watch old stuff, but I don't really give a fuck about the new stuff.
Watch the old ECW shit. That's about it.
I like a lot of the women that are wrestling these days.
I like women,
I mean,
too.
they're like Becky Lynch is a badass, and fucking what's her ass, Rhea, whatever.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, fucking
Okay, I got
mommy or
sweatpants on,
whatever.
dude. I got sweatpants on. Though.
Yeah, don't.
Hurt me. God. Anyway,
And if you're curious, SmackDown will be moving to USA. That deal was reportedly worth $2 billion. And NXT will be moving to the CW, and that deal is reportedly worth about $65 million.
the CW, that just sounds funny.
So they're doing all right.
They're jumping.
Well, considering TKO Endeavor just bought it for $9 billion,
Yeah.
and they just got $5 billion back,
Yeah.
and off the Netflix deal alone, you know,
Mhm.
that's a pretty good bargain.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
insane.
In the
Speaking of
membrane.
wrestling icon Hulk Hogan supposedly rescued a teen from a flipped car after a terrifying crash.
Was it his son?
That's a whole separate thing.
I was telling Dave on the way here. I was like, I just watched this video of Nick Hogan getting arrested for a DUI on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty serious. He killed his best friend. In that
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not this last one, but like years ago.
Yeah.
They got in a wreck and his friend died. It's messed up, man.
So it's
He's
just
been fucking downhill ever since.
the timing of this heroic act is just a little weird.
I can see.
that family has just been like ran through the mud with like how bad their decisions they make are. You know what I mean? Like Hulk's had many of his shit. Like there's been shit when it comes down to like his kids and his wife and who she's sleeping with and who he's. It's like it's a big mess. That's like I mean, they were the like the Osborns of the wrestling world, basically.
Well, it was funny because in that video where Nick gets arrested, like Hawk's there, like by the end, and he doesn't seem like he's too surprised. Like he's just like on the phone with his lawyer, and he's just like, yeah, all right.
Again,
And then they're like, well, he'll be in holding for 8 hours. He said, I'm gonna go home and go back to sleep then.
I'm gonna take a nap. I'll see it in a little bit.
I'm like, whatever.
I could totally see Hogan spinning that story where it's like, oh, I saved a kid from a wreck.
Yeah, it's like I'm surprised he didn't say I saved a school bus full of children, like the thing in the fucking Fantastic Four when he pulled the school bus up that was falling over the bridge.
Like headlines: Hulk Hogan saves kid from vehicle wreck, and it's like, oh, he just really went and picked up his son after he wrecked his car.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. Like, but anyway. Let's not go down the Hulk Hogan rabbit hole.
I was frozen today.
I love Suburban Commando. We got to do
Are you saying Hogan doesn't know best?
Oh, boy. In remakes and reboots that nobody asked for news. You're not going to believe this one.
What?
It's a Wonderful Life is on tap to be remade. And how do I put this? How do I say this? They're going to woke it up. And I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
They might as well, because every time I mention It's a Wonderful Life, people are like, oh, I didn't watch that shit. I guess I'm the only one who was sitting around watching It's a Wonderful Life.
When I was a kid, I used to watch it.
Yeah,
it wasn't one that we always watched, but it was definitely on.
Zuzu's pedals! Zuzu's pedals! Stand the eye, butt!
I missed you guys.
This one bouncing around.
I'll give this one a shot as The Blob is going to be remade yet again. I did like the 1988 remake, I will say.
With
Don't fuck it up now.
Yeah, so
Matt Dillon or whatever.
Yeah.
In addition, according to Alex Winter himself, Bill and Ted 4 is in the works as a script is being written as we speak with plans to shop it around.
All right.
Shop around.
I thought they just remade The Blob.
And there's more, proving yet once again that Hollywood is completely out of ideas, as John Boyega, who's best known for playing Finn in the Disney Star Wars movies, is set to play a young Denzel Washington as a prequel series for the Book of Eli.
Those movies sucked anyway.
I don't even remember it. I know I saw it, but I don't remember it.
I didn't really.
It's kind of like
I saw it.
I Am Legend, but better.
I thought you were getting ready to say that he was going to play Denzel in a prequel to Training Day, like whenever he's like coming up.
I'd watch that.
Yeah,
that would be all right if they did it right.
No,
but nobody cares about the Book of Eli.
Because it's like, with Training Day, you see Denzel, what he's become. It's like, let's see how he got to that point. You know what I mean? All the shit he went through to become dirty.
Yeah, because that makes me think of an episode of The Shield where they kind of did that prequel episode in the first or second season where, Vic Mackey showed up the first day in a suit and he was straight and everything. It's like, we'll do it this one time. But yeah, that's actually a decent idea, Mike. So we probably won't ever see that.
Yep. Hollywood, there you go. Fucking.
There's another freebie.
Just line your pockets. Fucking amazing.
In addition, Jurassic World Part 4 is also in the works with the original, with the screenwriter from the original first two movies. That's what I'm trying to say.
Words.
I haven't
What
seen
next?
The Jurassic.
Well, that last one sucked. I don't know why they're. Just leave the
Was that
shit.
bad?
Why don't they just do Jurassic Universe and have dinosaurs in space?
There's a fucking studio executive that just wrote that one down, Mike.
Nobody can hear you.
They probably have that somewhere.
They can't hear you scream.
The tagline.
I'm gonna have to look deep in Prime on that one. I guarantee there's a fucking dinosaur space movie somewhere.
The tagline. They can't hear you. They can't hear you roar in space.
It's probably a Sci-Fi Channel movie.
I believe it.
Sold.
And finally, here's a little fun fact for you. It's recently come to light from Stephen King himself that his original pick to star in the Thinner adaptation was John Candy. But he turned it down.
I mean, yeah. How are they supposed to? Okay, let's think about that for a second. The movie's about a big guy who gets cursed to lose weight nonstop, like quickly, right? Yeah. Rapidly is the word I guess I'm looking for. And John Candy was a big guy. How are they planning on him just losing weight rapidly?
I don't know.
Like that's just I feel like John Candy might have been insulted by that. That's just kind of insulting because we all love John Candy. I do anyway.
So we have this great new drug called methamphetamine.
All right, enough of the news. It's depressing. Moving on to Fight Club. Man, it's crazy. 1999. I remember going to see this movie like it was fucking last week.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
I guess it's been long enough, right?
Maybe.
It's
like, fuck it, we're out.
And yeah, I went to go check this movie out. Had no idea what it was about, but I just thought it looked cool. And I remember being in the theater, and there was like that nervous laughter where you're just like, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Is this supposed to be funny? But yeah, I didn't even know about all the chaos this movie caused in the media. You know, when it first came out, I just didn't pay attention to it. I just thought it was funny.
I didn't see it in theaters, but I saw it. I had a bunch of friends that went and saw it, and I didn't know shit about it. I didn't know about it was based off a book or anything, and I just thought it was like some action movie. And at that point, I was kind of like, I'm not really watching a bunch of anything unless it was horror. And one of my buddies was like, "You got to see this movie." And I was like, "I don't know. I'll watch it one day." I'm really horrible about if somebody tells me to watch something, I'm gonna go, "Okay."
Me too.
And like,
and they never do.
Yeah, no, I'm horrible about it. That's why this show is great for me because it gives me an excuse. Like, okay, I've got to watch this. I haven't seen this in forever, or whatever. What was I talking about?
How you didn't watch it?
Oh yeah. So I took forever and whatever. And then I had other friends that were like, "Man, you really need to see Fight Club." So finally, I rented it, and I rented it, and. No, I didn't rent it. I bought it. It was the pawn shop. And I was like, yeah, why not? It was like $5. And it was like the special edition, which later got fucking stolen from me. But along with everything else I owned. Whatever. That's a whole other story. But I took it home and watched it, and it blew my fucking mind. I was like, this is not at all what I thought this movie was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, okay, it's just going to be a bunch of guys beating each other up. That's cool and all, but, whatever. But nope, this has a whole other fucking thing to it that, like, I don't know, which this is one of my favorite movies. Like, the weird fucked up movies. It's just so good. I mean, the story, like, from the beginning of the movie, you're kind of like, okay, I'm intrigued, and you kind of don't stop being intrigued and curious, until the end.
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off it because it's one of those movies you're like, what the fuck are they going to hit me with next?
Dick pic.
Yeah, it just never stops from beginning to end. And it's one of those movies based off a book. It's one of those rare times where the movie not only is as good as the book, but maybe better.
Right. Me and Whitman were talking about that last night, actually. And because even though the book's really good, the movie is a little bit like, I love Chuck Palahniuk, but and the book is really good. But yeah, the movie's a little bit more. Has a little bit more substance to it, I think.
Yeah, it's paced a little better too, and it's.
Yeah,
I think the ending is different in the book, if I remember right.
I've never read the book.
I did a long time ago.
I always wanted to. I never. I'm terrible when it comes to reading. Like the only thing I've read in the last 20 years probably is Chuck's books.
Oh, there you go.
So,
thank you, buddy.
It
makes me feel really good.
I'm just not a big fan of reading in general. I don't know. I don't have the time. So it's like, I'll pop in a movie and I can watch it real quick or whatever, but I just never got into reading. So it's like that. There's a ton of books that I'd love to read that are based off of films that I enjoy, and I just never get around to it. But yeah,
just
big,
like a
big difference.
Just like with Hellraiser and Hellbound Heart, it's just like that. The book's good, but the movie's better.
And it's really, really rare that happens. That Hollywood does justice to the source material like that. And I think Chuck Palahniuk himself even said he thought the movie was better than the book.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is can be rare, because a lot of times authors kind of take offense whenever people are like, oh well, the film was better than the book, and it's like, well, fuck you. This was my shit, and they took it and they twisted it around and changed it, and this is one of the circumstances where they were on board with it,
Mm-hmm. And Chuck Palahniuk, he always kind of reminded me of Wes Craven in the sense that you watch his work and you're like, who is this fucking nut, this psychopath, this weirdo that came up with this shit? And then you see him or you hear him talk or whatever, and you're like, oh man, this is not what I expected. This guy's like cool. He's like super intelligent. He's like well spoken and all this. And in that sense, he always kind of reminded me of Wes Craven a little bit, where they seem like they're not what you expected. Not only that, but they're actually more like a college professor or something.
He comes off more of like a like a college teacher or something.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But the thing about him, because he's an influence of mine. One book in particular is an influence of me to me. A book that he wrote called Haunted. And he's not really a horror writer. He's just a writer that writes about whatever, and it's all ends up usually being fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But Haunted is basically an anthology within a story, and it's like, if you want to read some fucked up shit, it'll make you hurt by the time you get done reading it. And I'm not even kidding. But yeah,
I kind of remember Survivor too. Wasn't that the one that was like written backwards or something? Guy survived a plane crash or something.
Something like that. I never read that one.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. I'd like to go back and check out more of his stuff though.
I mean, he's the one that he's one of these writers that when he does
Nasty got me back into reading.
Hell yeah, you're welcome. He's one of these writers that when he does readings and Q&As and stuff, like when he does readings, he did a reading in Lexington, and people were getting sick. This was years ago, but like he does these readings and shit, and people get sick, and they end up having like a guy had a heart attack. A woman started like vomiting all down the hall, like because none of his stuff is bad. His stuff is pretty brutal. I mean, it's either it's just really weird and psychedelic almost, and psychotic all mixed in one, or it's like uber fucking extreme. And it goes back to that Haunted book. Seriously, if you want to read something fucked up by him, read that one. You'll never look at a pool the same way again. Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, this, if you know anything about Chuck Palahniuk's life, this mirrors a lot of things that happened in his life. It's like he was, in the film, Ed Norton is working for an auto company or whatever, doing the all the crashes and everything like that. Palahniuk worked for a Freightliner truck, and he worked at a local newspaper, but then worked for a truck company. And then while he was working there, in his spare time, he wrote this. And he actually wrote this as a short story, then it expanded into a novel after his first novel got rejected. And, he didn't even start really writing books until he was in his early 30s. Wow. He was like a volunteer, as you can see in the film, him going to the Ed Norton character going to all the different support groups and everything like that. Palahniuk actually was a volunteer who took people like terminally ill people and was like a transporter to them for them to go to the support group meetings. And he stopped doing that after like one of the people he was close with died. So you can tell like it's got a personal touch to his life as well. So it really reflects things that happens in his life if you are familiar.
Wow.
Did not know any of that.
I did not either.
I knew bits and pieces of that.
We learn things.
Interesting guy. And on top
really
of it, it's like, and you take this writing, this great, work that he put together, and on top you throw in David Fincher, and it's like, wow.
Oh yeah.
Because we can't put Fincher over enough. If you watched our episode on Seven, that's one of my favorite films of all time. This is up there. Two of my favorite films of all time are David Fincher films. So it's like, he does 7 and 95, and then 99 comes around and he's doing Fight Club, and man, he's just hitting bangers. I mean, you got The Game in 97, but we'll let that slide. But this is another one that just an amazing film by David Fincher. Every part of it. Like I said with Seven, it was so perfect, and this is another one where I have a hard time coming up with any complaints for this film. It's another one that feels almost perfect to me, if not perfect.
No, I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, not to mention the cast in this movie. I mean, there's so many like great actors in this. I mean, this is when this movie came out. I mean, Edward Norton was kind of like, well, he was pretty much, he was flying high at that moment, wasn't he? Or was it like right before? Quick. Okay, yeah, because he was starting to do all kinds of movies around that time, and
a lot of different stuff too.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like, was this before or after American History X?
After.
After, yeah.
Okay.
That was 90. It was like a year later.
Because I remember watching, because I watched Fight Club first, and I remember watching that, and then going back and watching American History X, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's the same guy." Like, it's just because he's a really good actor, and I think that him playing in this film with the role that it was, I think it was perfect. And Brad Pitt, I mean, come on, like, he is completely that character. It's hard to imagine, like, because when I've gone back and read Fight Club after seeing the movie, like, that's who I imagine, even if it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, because some people say they can't read. I saw somebody the other day that said they have a real problem. It might have been women. They said they have kind of an issue with reading. Or no, it was another buddy of mine. There's a problem with reading books based off movies after the movie came out or whatever. Because a lot of times they'll change things up in those books from the movie, and then it's like, well, I mean, you've already got the cast in your head. Just make them act those parts out that weren't in the movies. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I kind of get
I'm the opposite. To me, I'm the opposite. If I see a movie, then I found there's a book about it, I want to read the book to see the differences.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't read it until after I saw it. I didn't read The Dark Half till after I saw it.
Same.
Damn good books, Dark Half especially.
Yeah, that's way different than the fucking movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, good movie too, though.
Yeah, it is. But the book is better.
Yeah, because a lot of times the book fills in a lot of missing pieces, and sometimes I just like to go back and because I'm curious, like, what was that character thinking when they did that, or they made that decision or whatever in the movie, and that's why sometimes I like to go back and read the books after I watch the movie. But that's just me.
Yeah, you can also get away with so much more. In a book than you can in a movie, because in a book there's nobody telling you, nope, you can't do that. I mean, we've discovered that, like, it doesn't matter. In a movie, you're being told that you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't show this. But sometimes they make movies where they get damn close to where it's like, all right, you're just about this much off, and that's only because you have to be. I think this is one of those where the film, it's a home run. I agree with Mike. It is, if not a perfect film, it's damn near perfect.
Yeah, that's how
I had just watched that movie that Fincher just came out with called The Killer. It was pretty fucking good too.
I haven't got to finish that yet. I started it, and then we had talked about it on the New Year's review. I started watching it and never got to finish it, so I have to go back and watch it.
It's pretty good.
It started getting interesting.
Yeah, it starts out slow.
Yeah,
and then shit picks up.
I don't think I know what it is.
It just follows a life of like an assassin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's crazy to think that in 1992, David Fincher almost quit Hollywood completely after Alien 3, but luckily for us, he hung in there.
I love Alien 3. I don't care what anybody says. That's my favorite movie. Like, when it comes to the series, everybody's like, "What?" I'm like, "Nah, that's my favorite one."
It's like, so Chuck's fired up.
Is it the best one? No. Is it my favorite? Yes. The best one is best one is the original one, in my opinion. But
I mean, I like them all in order.
Mm-hmm.
You like Law and Order?
Yes.
I like Law and Order.
Dun, dun. That's all go
Bow,
to
bow, bow.
court.
Okay, enough.
But yeah, like Chuck was saying, this was prime time Ed Norton, man, and I don't think Ed Norton gets enough credit. You know, especially now in the more recent years, he just hasn't had any big hits or anything like that. He's done little stuff here and there.
Ever since the Hulk, it was all downhill.
I mean,
Oh,
pretty
God.
much. But I mean, around this time, you've got, you know, if you ever want to question Ed Norton's acting ability, go and look at this series of work, you know, because it's like in the years, like he's doing Primal Fear, he's doing the People versus Larry Flint, he's doing American History X, he's doing fucking Rounders, Fight Club, Death to Smoochie, you know.
I actually just went back and watched The Score, but him and De Niro.
Red Dragon, The Score.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing films over a short period of time.
I mean, none of those are bad films.
And that's a testament to his acting ability, because it's like, you know, we talk about how certain actors where they're almost cast type into like, oh, you know, Kevin Hart is going to be Kevin Hart, and you're just going to change the film. You know, he's always going to come across as the same kind of character,
Right?
You know, but if you look at all these different films that Ed Norton's done, he's always changing. He's never the same. And it's just a multitude of different personalities, you know, going from like something, you can go from, you know, American History X to Death to Smoochie, and you just watch those two films back to back. And he does a phenomenal job in both. And that's just a testament, like I said, to his ability. And the dichotomy between him and Brad Pitt in this film, you know, it's perfect, you know, because it's like later on, whenever Tyler's explaining to him, like, I am everything that you aren't. And that's the case, you know. He's the weak one and he's the strong one, the split personalities or whatever. And they nail it completely.
And it's the attention to detail, because if during the film, it's like Edward Norton's character is losing weight, like he looks skinnier as the film goes on, he looks worse. And Brad Pitt gets more muscles as the film progresses. It's like he gets bigger as Tyler Durden is slowly taking over. He gets bigger and stronger, and Edward Norton, the narrator, whatever, Jack, whatever you want to call him, is slowly fading away. And there's so many layers to this movie. And I just like, because you just talked about Edward Norton, like Brad Pitt is an actor, like he was in real serious danger of getting typecast himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's an actor that, like, he did, what was that movie? Not Thelma and Louise, the other one, Legends of the Fall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't just show up with that movie. He did like commercials and TV. He actually, fun fact, he was on an episode of Freddy's Nightmares one time that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Way back in the day, like, and Growing Pains, like shit like that. Like, he was a working actor for a really long time, and he was in danger of getting typecast, but he could have taken that road, but he didn't. He got smarter with taking roles like this. And I think I saw somewhere, I don't know if this is true, but that he went to a dentist to have his teeth chipped just for this movie. And then after the film was finished, he went and got them fixed. It's like, that's fucking bro. And he's in a ton of movies.
If you got the money to fix them.
I mean,
just 7 in Fight Club alone, it's like shit.
Right.
And, you know, because Brad Pitt said one time how Dave Fincher did a lot for his career, but I feel like it goes the other way around too. And it was rumored that Russell Crowe was up for that part. But I saw that, I think Dave Fincher himself said that he insisted on Brad Pitt to the point that he actually sat outside his house night after night to get him to take the role.
That's funny. You mentioned when we were talking about Edward Norton, you mentioned Primal Fear. That's probably one of my favorite roles of his.
That's a good movie.
That's what I was going to say a minute ago, was when talking about him, is he is such a well-rounded actor, because like he can go off and be one of the most sensitive fucking characters and make you just feel horrible for, you know, it's like the guy in Death to Smoochie, you feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Like, and he's all innocent and all this shit. And, you know, like even like in Fight Club before he, you know, meets Brad Pitt. Like, and then he can go off and just be a complete fucking twisted asshole, like in American History X. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. He's a damn good actor. And Primal Fear, I think, is a good one, because you get a little bit of both those in that.
25th. You ever see 25th Hour?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
too.
where he's going to prison and is that one? Yeah, that's a good one. It's underrated.
I mean, he did a couple not so great movies, like that movie Stone.
Is that the
Oh, I
one?
forgot all about that one.
The De Niro
He
movie?
threw out some stinkers, but I'm pretty sure that was like post Hawk too.
Was
So,
that
like,
the movie with Robert De Niro and he was in jail or whatever? And
I don't think
cornrows.
De Niro wasn't in that. I don't believe, but he was in jail in that one.
I don't remember.
Did he have cornrows in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Who was the main old guy? Who was the older guy in them?
I forget.
I don't remember either.
I completely forgot about that
Jesus
movie to
Christ.
mention it.
Hey, I kind of forgot about it too till I
Now I
said
gotta
something.
look at it because I thought it was.
Oh yeah, that fucking movie.
Google people.
That
That's
Google
what I'm
people.
doing. If I Google people, it's not going to give me. This is called Stone.
Stone.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. 2010. Yeah, it's Robert De Niro.
Was it?
Yeah.
So they did 2 movies together then. It still sucked.
Yeah. I was
bad.
like Edward Norton with cornrows. Like what?
It's an
I mean,
interesting-
hey, I give him props for trying, but that movie just in general was not good. It was predictable as shit, and it was. I mean, and there's nothing against the actors and actresses in the movie. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, that's
It's funny. It's funny because every time I see Ed Norton in this film with the cornrows, it always makes me think of Danny McBride in the second season of Eastbound and Down with the cornrows.
I always think of Riff Raff.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Tiptoeing in my Jordans. Anybody notice how my room just turned red all of a sudden?
I did.
everything's red.
I think it's becoming contagious.
yeah.
My room is red. Now you're turning red.
Mine is too, but my front lights make it look otherwise. Beside the light in the background dancing.
Violet, you're turning violet. Violet.
Rook. Mike's room disappeared.
And some people that were originally up for Edward Norton's role in this movie was almost Matt Damon. Praise God, we got out of that one.
Oh, that was weird.
Nothing against Matt Damon, but he not for this. He was told he'd be totally wrong for this.
Who
Yeah,
else
I
did they
agree.
say?
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
That was the other one.
Fuck Sean Penn. I just hate that guy.
I'm not a big fan of him either.
Other than
He'll-
Spicoli.
That's like the only because I don't know. I think he's just an asshole. Although I do think that his story about meeting Richard Ramirez was kind of funny. Did you know about that one?
No,
When he was in jail. He was like Richard Ramirez was like in the same hallway as him, and he was a fan of his. So like he wanted an autograph from Sean Penn or some shit, and he wrote him a letter. And it was this big long thing, just whatever. And like he said, he kept the letter until it was ruined in a flood or a fire one, something like that. Yeah, but he's like, yeah, just tell him. He sent him a note back saying, "Fuck you, you're a piece of shit," like or something like that. Like I don't want you being a fan of my movies. Like I'm,
wow.
Interesting.
yeah.
Took a turn.
Don't worry. Sean Penn's like that to everyone. He's like, fuck
Yeah.
you.
Just ask Madonna. Just
I
ask
don't want you to
Madonna.
be. I don't want you to be a fan.
He has like 2 friends, and one of them is Charlie Sheen.
There you go.
When you got friends like Charlie Sheen, well, you better have a lawyer.
I wonder how Matt Damon would have done in this film.
Or Tiger Blood.
He's a great actor too, but I just don't.
Certain roles are not for
Dude.
everybody, man. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of great actors that you can go, all right, but it just some of them just don't work. I mean,
You ever see that The Martian with Matt Damon,
Mhm.
where
No.
he's up on Mars? That's a pretty good flick. I don't know. It was on when I was at the gym earlier, and I was like, man, fucking Damon's good in this. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah,
But they-
he's underrated sometimes too. I think he's a
But
great
now
actor.
but now thinking about it though, you could totally do this movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Like
They should remake it.
just put it in your head. Just when you're thinking about certain scenes, it's Goodwill Hunting. Just
Earmuffs,
into it.
Hollywood. Earmuffs.
huh?
I mean, just they should do like a little comedy short
I think that'd be
where
funny.
That'd be.
we get to see Matt Damon and Ben Affleck beating the shit out of each other.
Like if thinking
By
about
Kevin
that
Smith.
scene, the scene where he hits him, all that shit or whatever. Like,
The ear?
imagine it being Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. You can totally imagine.
Sure.
Well, he really
I
hit
just-
him. And he really hit Pitt in the ear during that scene.
Yeah, he really was like, you in the fucking ear.
Well, because like they were like, you gotta actually get mad and actually hit somebody, and he's like, I don't know what to do, and he ended up just punching him in the fucking ear.
Yeah.
Like he really made him punch Brad Pitt in the face, but he just punched him in the ear.
It was perfect. It was perfect because that's exactly what would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Did Pitt actually punch him back though?
Stomach?
I don't think till later.
Was that the shot in the stomach, or was that something else?
No, that was the fucking.
'Cause I thought he got him.
the bar.
Oh, okay.
What?
I was gonna say I thought the shot in the gut was when that happened, but yeah.
Yeah, that was the bar.
No,
owner,
probably later on, whenever they're having the fight after the bomb, when he finds the bomb in the van,
Yeah.
and they're fighting.
What movie did you watch, Mike?
You've seen this film, right?
There was a van.
Yeah,
There's
there's
a
actually
bomb?
there's actually a lot about this film that like we haven't even like talked about yet.
We haven't scratched the surface.
yeah,
on
we
this.
haven't
just talked about
God
the
damn, we've been
people
talking
in the
about
movie.
40 minutes. Holy shit!
Hey, we've missed each other.
Meatloaf.
Oh, Meatloaf.
Yeah, people who haven't seen this
Meatloaf.
movie, there is a reason why Chad has tits. Go on.
They're nice too. I like it.
I offered to buy Gary tits.
I
Inside joke.
busted out laughing when you sent that message. I was just sitting upstairs and picked up my phone and I busted out laughing. You
Yeah.
did what?
Fucking Meatloaf,
Sorry.
man, comes along.
Seeing Meatloaf on this shit fucking blew my mind because he really. This is probably whenever he
He was
first started
great.
acting too, because he did like this movie and then that one shit with Patrick Swayze, that trucker movie.
Black Dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Let's
And
not
he's done a
forget.
few other things, but
Not forget. He was in Spice World.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I'd
So
do anything
anyway.
for those girls, but I won't do that.
I don't know.
You know what's bad is I know that because I am the oldest and my little sister used to love that movie. And I've seen Spice World more than I'd like to admit.
Chuck's the oldest Spice Girl male fan.
Given to your
Dude,
guilt-
you know what my excuse was for actually sitting there and watching that shit sometimes was
Spice.
because they were hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you're watching that movie? Yeah, a bunch of hot chicks dancing around. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it, and it's kind of funny. And Meatloaf
Yeah.
makes a really good reference to one of his most popular songs, so it's good.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Hey, it's
Calm
a
down,
guilt.
guy.
It's a guilty pleasure. All right. Fucking fun fact. Whenever I first moved to Ohio, the first concert I saw was the Spice Girls.
Wow.
Interesting.
Hell
That
yeah,
explains everything.
that explains it. I mean, what? I mean, tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
Oh, that's
He was in. Fucking Meatloaf was in Wayne's World too. Remember? He's the bouncer guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, that's right.
And
he was
let's
in
not
Tenacious
forget-
D, the Pick of Destiny.
And fucking, of course, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Of course.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, man. No, Meatloaf was always
Right, he was
he's
in
always, he was always a fun one to watch in movies because I thought he was a good actor when he did stuff. He was serious about all his things, man. I was a Meatloaf fan from way back when my mom, listening to
You used to cook it. I thought that's where you were going with that.
What?
I was always a Meatloaf fan. Whenever my mom used to cook it for me.
No, my mom was actually a fan of his music, and so like I kind of got into his music, which is kind of some people are like, that's really weird. I'm like, man, but if you actually listen to some of that shit,
Some Bat Out of Hell. Chuck's jamming out.
Bad Out of Hell 2, Back into Hell, like they all sounded like fucking death metal albums, but they were far from. But they were
I've been tricked.
It's kind of like Kiss.
Yeah.
What happened?
right, yeah. As a kid, like I do remember seeing the I Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that video. It's like, what is this? 'Cause
Yeah, my mom had the Bat Out of Hell record, and I remember putting it on one time, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, because that video used to come on all the time. They
I've
played
actually-
that constantly.
Come to think of, my mom gave
love
me
that
her Meatloaf cassettes that I've still got in there because I'm still
Ma!
collect those.
Ma! Meatloaf. Fuck.
Oh, so I'm a fan of eating meatloaf. Good stuff.
Meatloaf's delicious.
Oh, I'm getting hungry. And
R.I.P.
finally, Helen Bonham Carter. Did anybody know who she was before this movie came out?
Nope.
I confess I didn't.
I don't think so.
I had no idea.
I remember when the opening titles came on, it said Brad Pitt, Edward Norton. I was waiting for the Fight Club title card to come up, but instead this woman's name come up, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Imposter.
But a super talented actor. And there was a film she did in 1997 that won her this part. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it, but Janine Garofalo was up for this part at first.
Ooh.
And we can thank Edward Norton for showing her the door, from what I heard.
Wait, but then he wanted to cast his girlfriend, Courtney
Yeah.
Love, and that didn't go through either.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. Oh, yeah.
And there was
That's where he would have downfall. I forgot that he dated her.
Yeah. And
She is Yoko.
Winona
He's
Ryder
just
was
lucky.
the other one,
Yoko.
which I could actually see. I could see Winona Ryder playing that part.
She's Black Widow. He's just lucky he got out alive. But, I'm just saying. I mean, allegedly.
Shotguns in your house? Because I can
Yeah.
make this look real nice.
But Janine Garofalo in that part, like at one time, maybe I could possibly see it. But
I've
no.
never been a fan of hers.
Did you see Winona
Daria
Ryder's?
was about it.
Did you see Winona Ryder's bush in Ted?
Huh?
The new Ted TV series.
Oh yeah.
Remember,
I actually did watch
remember the guy comes over and he's showing them the porn picture, the shit he drew,
Drawing?
and
Yeah.
he's like, "Is that Winona Ryder with Lionel from Thundercats?" He's like, "Yeah, I drew her with a bush, but I don't know if that's how she really does it, but that's how I imagine it."
That show's actually really funny.
So yeah, if you haven't watched Ted on Peacock yet, go give it a look.
I highly
It's
recommend.
Yeah, it's
Not for
funny.
children. My son he's like, I want to watch Ted. I'm like, no.
I didn't know it was going to be like, whenever you saw the previews for it, it seemed like it was going to be a little mild mannered family film or show. And you get on there like, nope, they go.
Like the first episode,
If
straight out the
throttle.
gate, you're like, all right.
If you've seen the other films, you know that a show is not going to make it any better.
I mean,
No, it's a great show though for adults. It's hilarious.
Although I could see Courtney Love doing this role of Helen Bonham Carter.
she wouldn't have to act though.
I could.
I mean, did you see her?
I
in
really could.
People versus Larry Flint.
Yeah, she
She was
did a
good.
great job
Yeah.
playing herself.
Both of them. It's like you bring back those two from Norton and Love. They did a great job. Woody Harrelson, that's a great flick too.
I love that movie. Yeah, that was a good one. No,
I'll get you some bananas.
but with it being a Chuck Palahniuk based film, you got the weird aspect and the weird dialogue. And I remember watching this movie, and she utters probably one of the most disgusting fucking lines that I had ever heard in a movie at that time. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. He even says that.
Brad
in the
Pitt,
film.
yeah, he even makes a comment about it because I remember when we first watching it, and I was just like, "What did she just say?" And then he just turns around and he makes his comment. I'm like, "Exactly, that's fucking gross."
You got some fucked up friends.
Like, I'm not even gonna repeat what it was. You all know what it is, and hopefully, if you're watching,
I was gonna get Dave a pair of yellow fucking disc gloves to wear tonight.
I was gonna start the show, and I was gonna like come in and be like, "You want to finish her off?" Oh shit! Take the gloves off. Welcome to the show, everybody.
well, that would have been great.
That's what, like, and after that line too, I remember there was like the theater was quiet for a second, but then everybody started laughing because it's one of those things like you said, did she just say?
Yeah,
And that wasn't the original line.
No, there was a worse line than that.
Mm-hmm. And they made some kind of deal with one of the executives that, okay, we'll change it, but whatever I change it to, that's what stays.
yeah.
Big mistake.
It's such a disturbing thing to say, but yeah, like I mean, even
Well, even she was shocked. Like after she found out, like she realized like grade school meant like elementary school.
Yeah, she
She thought it was like high school.
Yeah,
that's funny.
she was horrified.
Oh,
That's-
Like, well, that's fucked up.
Fuck.
Nah,
I think that's a line that attracted Tim Burton to her. He's like, hey,
How you doing?
my kind of lady.
Yeah, you're sad and depraved. Come over here to me. Come,
Yeah.
butthead.
There's so much to this film that we haven't even touched. My God, like, how do you? There's different ways you could see this film. I mean, it could be a romantic comedy. It could be a straight up action movie. It could be a dark comedy. It could be a warning against commercialism. That, well, what do you guys think? Was Tyler Durden right? He tried to warn us.
I mean, yeah. In a lot of ways, I would say there's a lot of truth to it.
And it's
But I
like
really
in this
can't get
movie,
into that.
he seemed to have good intentions. Like the part at the convenience store.
Yeah.
It's like, did he have good intentions all along?
That's kind of the end question. That you're
I wish
kinda
we could
going-
just sit and watch the movie and tear it apart scene by scene.
That'd be ideal.
It's one of those ones you can watch it so many times and it never gets old, you know. And every time I go, you know, I whenever I go back and watch it, I try to look because, you know, I like to pick things apart every now and then. And I try to see, I'm like, is there a spot where they fuck up? And, you know, because after the fact, you know, they're the same person, but when you're watching it, you're trying to figure out, you know, you go back and watch it a second time, third time, whatever. You're trying to figure out, oh, you know, you're piecing together their conversations and everything like that. Like, how did that happen if they're the same person or whatever? You're trying to figure out those little plot holes or whatever, and they're not really there.
Yeah. No,
It's
it's
fun
right.
to go
It's
back
part of
and
the
pick
movie.
out, like, was he Tyler Durden here or was he Jack?
Yeah.
Who was who? And it brings a different dimension to Marla too.
Yeah.
Because when you first watch it, before you know, you're like, this crazy bitch or whatever. And then after you find out, you're like, oh my God, I feel so bad for this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mind fucks her.
Well, I mean, when
Especially
you go ahead.
I was just going to say, especially that part when he's standing outside after he drank all the vodka. He's like, Tyler went away. Tyler's not here. Tyler's
Yeah.
gone.
She
And
just
she
looks
looked
confused.
freaked out. Mm-hmm.
She's like, "What is this guy talking about? He's a drunk asshole." And then she just leaves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's so. I thought it would be interesting if you went back and did like a different viewpoint. If you actually watched the movie from Marla Singer's viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
or you know, if we had a different version of the film where it was her viewpoint instead, and the shit. I mean, because she's following the path of the narrator more or less. You know, they're both going to these support groups. They're both, you know, depressed or whatever in their life, and you know, he ends up starting Fight Club, and that's his new thing. But her new thing is fucking him. So it's like, you know, you could have a whole other film called Fuck Club, and it's Marla Singer's story.
I've seen that movie.
You have? Oh, perfect.
The Joy Fuck Club.
Fuck Club.
But yeah, he's just trying to get a release. He's he's an insomniac. I think he said he works 9 jobs because he can't sleep. And these support groups, and interesting, one of them is the male testicle group, sort of saying in the background that have men lost their balls.
Right.
All of them. They lost all of them.
And look on social media, just look around, and like I said, was Tyler Durden right? I don't know.
In many ways, he was.
Yeah.
I believe so too.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a great segue into Bob.
The Bob.
To Bob.
Bob that
Bob
had his
had those
testicles
tits.
removed and then grew big ass tits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
the
test expansion
steroid-
program you see on late night TV.
I think what did
Oh,
they
it's his
say?
idea.
He wore this like 180-pound fat suit filled with birdseed.
Jesus.
God damn.
Yeah, because he lost because Meat was always a big dude, and he lost. Yeah, right. But
Loaf.
well, I mean,
I call it
he just went by Meat.
He
I
had some
call-
big meat when he lost his loaf.
I call him
Right. No, because he lost some weight there for a while, and I think it was around the time they did that. So then he's always been a big dude, but he did lose like quite a bit of weight. So like they had to bulk him up a little bit more, which is I wonder how that had been weird for him. It's like, well, shit, I got all this weight off. Now I got to put it back on in a weird way.
It could have been therapeutic. Like, don't ever want to be this heavy again.
That is true too. Yeah.
Like, my fucking knees hurt after today.
Yeah, like he got around pretty good wearing that fat.
With them big ass titties he had, his back would be sore.
Yeah.
No, he was still pretty big even after the fact. You know.
Yeah, he was always. I mean, he was always a big dude. Now there was a time where he did lose a lot of weight, and I think he ended up like gaining it back or whatever. But
yeah, because in that Bad Dog movie or whatever, he wasn't that big.
Yeah, he wasn't that big in that. His heyday there for like pretty much like the I Do Anything for Love era until about early 2000s. Like he kind of slimmed down and then kind of got bigger again.
His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson.
So in death, we do have a name, and his name is Robert Paulson.
I love how, you know, Tyler / the creator have not Tyler the creator, but Tyler / the creator has created this whole world, and like every time he's trying to figure out what's going on as the narrator, like everything backfires for him because he's supposed to be in charge. To everybody else, he's in charge. But then it's like they show up with Bob's body and all this, and he's like, no, this is a human, and they're just spouting off all this like fucking.
You said you would say that, sir.
Nonsense, like it's a religion. It's like he's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like this is a person. He has a name. He's my friend, Robert Paulson.
One of my favorite scenes in this movie is can you all guess what it is?
You gotta take his balls.
Well, when Jared Leto gets his ass handed to him.
No.
Any movie that little fucking paraquat's in, like I want him to get his ass kicked.
He's not that bad. He's a good actor too.
I hate Jared Leto. God, I hate that guy. I hated him when he was on that My So Called Life.
Oh, Jordan Catalano.
And he was like, oh, I'm the depressive guitar player, and then like he started being in movies and he was playing kind of like the same fucking asshole, and then like I don't know, I just can't stand his fucking face. And then now he's like he has his own fucking island. I don't say that's kind of fucking weird or nothing. He has a fucking cult that's like basically a religion based around him. He thinks he's some kind of fucking savior. Fuck that guy, and I hate his fucking band. Fuck Jared Leto. More movies with him being brutally murdered. Thank you. Take notes, Hollywood.
I mean, how much he dies in a lot of his films.
Yeah, but he doesn't get his ass handed to him like he does in that.
I don't know. It's you could do a whole little
Lord of War, man. That was my shit.
Lord of War, you know. Yeah. What he does. Well, kind of. I'm gonna.
I mean, I don't see a lot of Jared Leto. The only times I watch Jared Leto movies is when there's other people in it that I like.
The only time I haven't liked him in a movie was mainly in the Suicide Squad.
Oh god!
I wish he would have died.
Joker ever, except for in like the fucking.
The only time
He's
I
the reason I didn't
die.
see it.
Right.
Now, there's like he. If you really don't want me to ever see a movie, tell me that Jared Leto's in it. I'm gonna go. Nope. Give me a savior. Who else is in this movie? Okay.
Well, I mean, he gets, American Psycho, he gets hacked to death.
Yeah, no, that was that movie was good. Like, and he gets killed in it, and he wasn't the main star in it. Thank you. I just don't. If I don't have to see his face, like he has that face that you just. All these women are out there like, oh, Jared Leto, he's so hot. Yeah, fuck the talent aspect, right? Oh, but he can have these great songs. Yeah, Nirvana and Manson played him first, and then My Chemical Romance came afterwards. He just mixes all that shit up in a fucking blender and like takes it up for a fucking guzzle. It all sounds like bullshit. Fuck that guy. I fucking hate Jared Leto. Moving on.
Speaking of a cult leader, though, that's kind of what Tyler Durden is. He's this charismatic leader that's taken in all this lost youth that literally show up at his house.
Not even really youth. It's more of the middle age.
A whole generation.
Yeah.
People that are just tired of being pushed around.
Or just tired of their life. You know,
Right.
like he does that speech in the film where, you know, that we're all promised to be rock stars and movie stars or whatever and all that. And it's such a good speech because a lot of those people can relate to it, and a lot of the viewing audience can relate to it, where it's like, yeah, you know, I had all these dreams and aspirations, you know, when I was younger, I was going to grow up and I was going to conquer the world and I was going to do this and that. And no, I'm, you know, working at the gas station, working at the convenience store, or do whatever. And my life didn't turn out to what I wanted it to be. And, you know, he says, you know, we don't have a great war, or we don't have a Great Depression or a great war. You know, the great war, spiritual war, and Great Depression is our lives. And
such a great scene.
Yeah, and a lot of people can relate to that. So, you know, it has that deeper meaning, and it makes it feel more real, where you're like, you know, this whole organic idea of Fight Club could actually happen in real life. You know, all it takes is
especially these days. I mean, we live in a time where the oppressor is the ruler, right? And this movie asks the question: what happens if the oppressor becomes oppressed? And everybody rises up and goes, "Hey, remember me?" And like that's it. That aspect of it, whatever, is kind of like a thing I kind of dig in movies too. When it's like, this is what happens when pure chaos comes. We've all been saying forever, please, 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 and you keep turning away until finally none of us have names and we just blow your ass up. Sometimes things work out in violence. Chaos.
Sometimes the rabbit has a gun.
Sometimes the rabbit has the fucking gun. So, yeah, this movie has a lot of different meanings behind it, but that's one that I also like, always really enjoyed. Just for the fact of, I mean, like I said, especially now, like we're really seeing who the bad guys are these days, and there's none of us, no matter what side of the fucking coin or side of the tracks that we're on, we all agree we're being fucked. And it's only a matter of time before this kind of shit happens, where somebody goes, you know what, that Chuck Palahniuk fella, he might have been thinking something there. So I mean, you know, some movies don't realize the future that it tells. You know, just like Terminator 2, that shit's happening right now.
Oh, it's coming,
and it's a matter of time. That scene, you want to think about the scariest scene ever in a movie? It's that scene, that dream sequence in Terminator 2. That shit's coming. And that's what you need to be scared about. It's not Jason or Michael Myers. It's the end.
It's the end of the world as we know it. But I feel fine.
Yeah, right. I feel pretty good about it.
It's like this movie came out how many years ago?
I got deep.
99.
What, 99?
Going on 25 years. No, that's why we're doing this. Isn't it the 25th anniversary year? Yeah.
It's just
close.
anniversary years in general, pretty much.
I think it came out in October.
That's what it was. We have gone through behind the scenes and picked out anniversaries of different films and decided to discuss them. So this was the 2024 is the 25th anniversary of Fight Club. So there you have
Old
it.
as fuck.
Old
That's
as fuck.
crazy.
And it's funny. It came out so long, but it's more relevant now probably than it was when it came out. I mean, back then everybody was freaking out over Y2K and shit. And now it's like a lot of this stuff, I could see it happening if it's not already happening.
Yeah.
Let's not end the show on this note.
Yeah. No, the one thing that I always loved about this movie was the fact that I when I first gave it a watch, when I first watched it, it's one of those where you watch it, you're enjoying it, whatever, and then the last 10 or 15, 10 minutes shows you, all right, this is the tie-up. This shows you why all this shit makes sense now. I love endings like that. One where I don't see it coming. You know what I mean? Like you don't see that much now. You're pretty much predicting everything that's going to happen. This movie, watching it, like I said, it was not what I thought it was going to be. It was better. And when it got to the ending, like, and after seeing everything coming full circle, it was kind of like, oh shit, now I got to rewatch the fucking movie because I know there's other shit that that I've missed. And there is. It's almost like watching a Lynch film or something. You have to go back and watch it a few times because you'll pick up on little things you missed the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, for a lot of people, like whenever you see there's little flashes of Tyler throughout the film that a lot of people didn't pick up on because it's just like a little, like almost like a little bleep. Like whenever he inserts the dick into the films, he just like if you go back and watch, there's little flashes of Tyler before he even actually shows up, and it's stuff like that. Like Dave said, there's so many layers to it, and it makes it more interesting. Whenever you go back and watch it, you see something new almost every time.
Yeah, so they wanted to put little clips in front of the like in the very beginning, like whenever like the Fox screen and shit popped up or whatever, but they weren't allowed to do it.
Mm-hmm. When I told my buddy that I bought that movie, and he was one of the people that told me I needed to watch it, and I'd called him. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, have you started watching it yet? You seen the dick yet? And I was like, I haven't even put the movie in yet. What do you mean? He goes, oh, never mind. You'll see.
That's what was his takeaway.
Yeah, man. Well, it was one of those. The time period, it was dick and fart jokes constantly with my friends. But
it was the late '90s.
But and I was like, what the fuck? Based off of. And when that scene popped up, like when he was talking about it, I was like, oh, I already know what's going to happen. But then I was like, what the fuck? Okay. And so immediately I called my friend. I was like, hey, I saw the dick. He's like, it's hilarious, wasn't it? I was like,
what'd you think?
What'd you think? I don't know. Like,
there you go. We just came up with the new song for the next album. You could do a new cover. Ace of Base. I saw the sign. How about
I saw the dick? I don't think those lyrics. I don't think I'm going to be singing that.
We'll give you some lyrics. I saw the dick. And I opened up my lips. I saw the dick. There you go.
I don't think that's going to be a thing.
No,
Michael. I don't think it is at all. But you should totally start a solo album.
I'll give that. I
think there's potential.
I'll give that to Weird Al. He can take.
But but if you do that though and have those kind of songs, you need to look just like you are right now.
I probably will after the fact.
That's like that. That'd be great. That to me is funny.
I played down in Louisville and they beat the shit out of me.
I was at a show in Louisville the other night. I went and saw Michael C. Hall's band.
Oh shit! How was that?
Princess Goes. Yeah, it was awesome. Actually, it was really fucking cool.
Nice.
Highly recommend if you like weird industrial dance, David Bowie type shit. Guy's got some pipes on him. Like, yeah, good shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off fucking tangent. You said Louisville, and so yeah. Louisville, Louisville, Louisville.
Whoa!
You want to see a fucked up concert? You go see Steven Seagal perform.
That'd be great.
I would totally go see that.
I was just amazed.
Him playing guitar. I collect guitars because I'm a guitar player. No, because
he
really not.
He's like at a blues band and everything. I don't know if he's performed. I don't know if he's performed recently or not, but I saw him many years ago, and I was just like, "What the fuck?"
You saw him live?
I did.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You amazed me.
Tried to arrest him.
No, he said, "Come cut my heart out. Come cut my heart out."
Hey, Richie, fuck you.
Oh man, as fucking weird as he is, you gotta love Seagal's films, man.
I mean, up to a
really
point.
Oh, you got to.
To a point.
Don't. Michael would disagree with this. I like a couple of. I like the old school. Under Siege 1.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like all this stuff like mid to late '90s is after like everything before that's good.
It's true.
Yeah, he is. I don't know how. But you ever watch that show?
Totally.
You ever watch that bunch of bullshit? Him trying to.
Whenever he legally raided some dude's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that guy's a fucking joke. Like, and the thing is, I was watching a thing about Steven Seagal not too long ago, where it was It was talking about how like
Picture him running.
how he
Spaghetti arms.
how he runs and all this shit. I never paid attention to how goofy it was. Like, I'm just like, you know what? He really did like have like the lankiest body. Like, how did he kick so much ass in these movies?
He did.
He's legit.
Yeah,
I mean, he's legit. You know,
Yeah,
as
but when
silly
you watch-
as he comes across, you know, nowadays, he fucks some people up. He knows his shit.
yeah.
Keto.
But like, have you watched some of those videos from back in the day though? Like where he's actually doing shit. It's like he paid them to just like drop to their knees when he touches them. Like it just.
I'm sure he's done that a lot.
No.
Tell me you're my housekeeper. What?
Well, it's Hollywood. You know, he's got to look good. So,
You're gonna fold my clothes now.
but anyway,
Yeah,
Side
put him in Fight Club. We'll see what happens.
oh, there we go, man. Now we're coming up with some great ideas here.
On a roll tonight.
Steven Seagal and fucking Jean-Claude.
Fight Club.
I still want to see that fight someday.
Yeah, I wish.
If
They
Steven
were
Seagal
back in each
came
other's
out
throats all the
fucking
time.
arrest me, I'd probably kick him in the nuts.
Steven Seagal and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I was just thinking that.
Like,
I don't want to see either of them in my house.
Fight Club.
I'd be like, "Oh shit, Steven Seagal, what the fuck are you doing here?"
I'm like, oh, you're gonna arrest me? Well, first I got this copy of Marked for Death back here. I need you to sign. It's the only movie you ever did I gave a fuck about.
Like, you are hard to kill.
Yeah, right. Above the law.
How do we even get on Steven Seagal? We should end every episode talking about Steven Seagal.
I'm going to take you to the bank, the blood bank.
Oh my god. Of all the action stars.
Look, hey, I ordered me some chicken. They gave me alligator ass.
Fight Club's a great movie.
He's gonna go snatch him every motherfucking last birthday.
Oh, but yeah, Fight Club.
Took a turn on that one.
Like you, I think Chuck said at the beginning, it's a movie you tell your friends about.
For sure.
Word of mouth is what made this movie so successful. It did okay at the box office. It made its budget back, I think.
Yeah, but then when it came out on DVD, it sold like 13 million
13
copies.
million copies gone like that. It was just insane.
I was one of them. Because I remember like back in like the day, like whenever that shit came out, they had like a setting where you could fix your picture on your TV to make it darker so you could like notice more shit. So like every time I would move, which was a lot, like I would always fucking set my TV to that, and then I'd always put in the Matrix to fucking do my surround sound with the lobby screen shooting.
All right. Yeah.
Music, good music soundtrack in this. Dust Brothers.
Oh god, we didn't even talk about that. Oh
Fucking
man,
Trent.
Dust Brothers fucking killed this shit. I used to always blast the opening titles when that came on. I used to fucking blast. I blew out many a speaker. This and Star Wars, I blew out a lot of speakers.
I blew out many. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh god,
Speakers.
I set myself up for that.
Star
one.
Wars. Many assholes in my day. Wait, who said that? What?
But yeah, it's
Not a
too bad
man
they
burn?
didn't market this movie better. I'm sure it would have did better. But this was the same year Star Wars Episode 1 and Blair Witch Project, all that shit came out. So
Actually, it's
Yeah,
better.
but it's a cult. I mean, it's a cult classic now.
mhm.
And I think that fits the film perfectly because you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want it to be you don't want to advertise it and make it into this commercial film. You know, the whole organic feel of Fight Club in the film is kind of how it was, in real life, where you're not supposed to talk about it, but
Mhm.
everybody is.
Mhm.
And that's what makes it so popular. Because he even says, the first, I see a lot of new faces tonight. That means you guys are breaking the first two rules of Fight Club. But that's how it was. It's like, hey,
Mhm.
he says these are the rules, but no, he wants more people to show up. He wants to create an army.
No. When you tell
And-
somebody not to do something over and over again, a lot of times they're going to go, well,
Yeah,
It's
that was
okay,
me as a
though.
kid.
So
Yeah,
that's kind of the beauty of the film is that the word of mouth kind of mimics what happens in the film. And,
Yeah.
Well, then he goes out and tells them to fight strangers or whatever, and then most of those guys end up being members, including a preacher.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one. That
sprays him with the water.
Yeah, like I'm laughing and cringing at the same time when he sprays the Bible.
And they said if you look real close, you can see the camera shaking because the guy filming it just couldn't stop laughing. So you can just like fucking see the camera just like bobbing up and down a little bit.
What was your all's favorite scene like in this movie? I would say that mine was probably where he puts the lie on his hand. I think that whole scene is just so brutal, but so true. Like, I don't know, it's a great scene, and it hurts watching it because I'm just like, oh my God. You know, put water on it and
I want to say whenever he beats the shit out of himself in his boss's office.
That's
That's
a
good
good
one that came to mind.
Yeah.
That shit's fucking great. And then like the timing at the end of it, whenever he's just on his knees and he's like, please don't hit me. And the fucking everybody walks in and they're like, what the fuck happened in here?
Yeah.
Like, that shit's great.
And there's like another clue in that scene that you missed the first time you're watching it when it pauses and he says, for some reason, I thought of my first fight with Tyler.
Yeah.
And then it resumes and it's like the
That's
first
true,
time you see it, you don't think
He's like
about
beat
it.
the shit out of himself.
It's definitely a movie I could watch over. I could watch this movie anytime. Like sitting here, it's like, hey, you want to watch Fight Club? Sure.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
love the little detail when after he crashes back into the wall and he's going to get up and you see his hand like grab the chair or whatever to get up and you see the glass all through.
It's brutal, right?
Yeah. You know, it's just those little details that make it even so much better.
Yeah, there's a lot of attention to detail. Like in all of Fincher's movies, there's a lot of attention to detail like that.
So good. What were you going to say, Chad?
Huh?
Lost. You're getting ready to say something, and I went off. What?
I don't know.
What did you say?
Whenever the owner of the place they're fighting
bar?
at shows up,
Lou?
Lou, yeah.
Oh,
See, that's not-
Okay.
I'm
That's-
fucking
yeah, that's
Lou.
really good.
That's a good.
I like
one.
that scene. Yeah. We just bleeding. And he's just like, oh, dude. Yeah, that's a good one.
He fucking like leans over and starts like fucking shaking blood all over. He's like, you don't know where I've been.
And it's just that demented laugh that Brad Pitt does so well. He's like, you don't know where I've been.
This is one of those movies where I realized that, like, Brad Pitt was a badass.
Mhm.
Like, you know, he wasn't just a pretty face, you know, going back to the Legends of the Fall and all that shit, and like, you know, Interview with the Vampire and all that. Like, it's like, you know, he started doing more
Interview with the
tough
Vampire.
guy roles, you know, and kind of being a little bit more of the guy you want to be. You know, it's like, I want to be that guy. He's cool. He doesn't give a fuck.
And that,
You know,
and that's a selling point. You know, like he's whenever he says, "I'm everything you want to be," they made Brad Pitt into that guy. Where it's like, you know, he's got the hair, he's got the look, he looks handsome, he's fucking shredded. You know, he's cool. He says everything that's interesting, everything he's doing. You know, people want to be Tyler Durden.
And like he says,
You know?
and most of all, I'm free in all the ways that you are not. And that's
Yeah.
that's how I'd like to be. Wish you could just
another little
Possessions
scene.
begin to own
turn
you.
that. Yeah. All the things you own end up owning you. Like, because
Yeah.
he's talking about, I think he says the insurance will probably cover everything. And Tyler just kind of is like, And Edward
Yeah.
Norton's like, what? And he said, things you own end up owning you. But do what you like, man. I've seen this movie a lot of times.
it's true though.
I like when they go, they're getting ready to make the soap, so they go to
that's a good one too.
place, and they're fishing all the bags of fat out,
Yeah.
and the one gets caught on the barbed wire, and it busts open, and Brad's like he's trying to catch it.
Hey, don't waste it. Don't.
It's so gross.
Well, they said like in prep for that
Oh.
movie, he actually learned how to make soap.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty fucking good. And then they both learned how to I think Taekwondo or something like that. They both went to Taekwondo classes.
Nice.
It's like during the week it's like Monday's boxing, Tuesday's Taekwondo, Wednesday's grappling, Thursday's learning to make soap.
It's the off day.
Yeah.
Was there a video game to this?
No,
I know.
I don't think so.
Should have been.
Should have been. I'm trying to think. There's a movie.
there is
I
a
don't know.
movie. It's called Fight Club. talking about the movie.
I
Oh,
think
wait,
the
there
book
was-
had it.
There was a video
sequel.
game. There was
Was
a
there a
video
video?
game for
I think
PS2.
I think I've played it. That's why I was sort of thinking. I think my buddy Jason had it, but I don't remember shit about it. I was just kind of curious because I thought there
Right, it's a
was.
fighting game, right?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it was just straight up like I think it was just
Street
more like a
Fighter
Mortal
type shit.
Kombat kind of like thing. Yeah, I actually think I might have owned it.
PS2 and
Huh.
Xbox.
After Shaq Fu, it was all downhill.
Shaq Fu.
There's somebody that I just wish would have just been in a few more movies.
Shaq?
Yeah. I think he could have been in it. I always said he should have been the Man of Steel when
He was in a movie called Steel.
was he?
What, you wanted Shaq to be Superman?
Well, no, like Shaq. Well, because when Superman died, they had like the Legion of Superman or whatever the fuck they were called, where you had Superboy and you had the Man of Steel, which was like basically like, you know, big giant black dude, you know, the John Henry. Was it John Henry? Kind of like, I guess that's the man they're basically basing him off of. But I remember a lot of people said that Shaq should be the one that played that, and it just never happened. I thought it could have been cool, and it was the only one that would have made sense. Who else were they going to get? Charles Barkley?
Fuck yeah.
There you go.
David Robinson.
Oh, before Shaq.
The captain.
Admiral.
Or Admiral.
Captain.
Captain, my captain.
I'm thinking Kareem. But who another fucking, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I do give it all.
game of
I give
death.
110% when I'm out there.
So how did that game come out in 99 if the movie came out in October 99? So that means they rushed it out. It must have sucked.
Yeah, it was because I'm remembering it now. It was more of like a Mortal Kombat like style kind of game. Because I don't remember there wasn't much to it. I'm pretty sure, and it was kind of like it was those could have been really cool graphics. Because it doesn't really go with the story.
Right.
It's
That's
just you're
not what it's
fighting
about.
people. Yeah, I liked it better when it was Pit Fighter. That was a cool ass fucking game. But anyway, remember Pit Fighter?
Yeah.
Genesis. Pit Fighter was great. It had actual people and everything. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I never played that game.
Really? Wow. Of old Sega Genesis.
No, I mean I played I didn't play Fight Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've never owned a PlayStation or an Xbox, so
The only reason I was not really big in consoles. I'm not a gamer guy. The only reason we have an Xbox here is because that's what Dex was given for Christmas one year. Like, you know, I had a PlayStation 4 there for a while, and it got broken.
Me and Dave was playing Mortal Kombat, and Mike's like, check out this new game I got on Commodore.
Cool, huh?
It's Pitfall. It's fucking great.
Oh, that's fun.
No, I was always a Nintendo guy. I'm very loyal when it comes to my brands. You know, it's like, you know, when I was growing up, it was either you're a Nintendo or a Sega person, and I was a Nintendo. You know, you Star Wars or Star Trek. I was Star Wars. You know?
No, I get that.
We're not such
Sega
big
didn't really
fans
have
of
much.
Trek.
Sega didn't have much of a chance though. When it came down to it, they didn't have half of the what's the word I'm looking for? Promotion, I guess, as much as like Nintendo did. Like Nintendo had a lot of better stuff that went along with it. Now, I used to have a Sega Game Gear, and I thought it was great. My mom, however, thought it was the worst fucking thing because she's like, "You need more batteries."
Yeah,
There's 8 more batteries.
Yeah.
That's what killed it, was because Game Boy only needed 4. You needed fucking 6. It was 8. I think it was 8.
Probably it was like 4 batteries on each side.
Fucking thing was this big. But
Yeah,
see, but I love
It had the
playing
color.
fucking- yeah, it was color and everything. It was great. But
My
yeah,
first Sega product was a Dreamcast.
I never had a Dreamcast though. I had friends that had them. I never had them.
It wasn't great.
I wish I still had my Game Gear.
I think the
Though.
Dolphins about the only good game on that shit.
Oh, that was a frustrating game.
It really was. It was
What
like
game was it?
$100 all over again.
Echo the
What game?
Dolphin.
Yeah. Just swim around most of the time, figuring out what the fuck.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're supposed to do.
There was only 4 games that we had for Game Gear, and that was Terminator 2, Sonic 2, the Lion King game. That was my sister's, and then I played it. It basically was like basically Donkey Kong with Simba.
Bonk's Adventure. Did you have that?
What was it?
Bonk's Adventure. Little caveman.
No, but I know what you're talking about though.
That was a fun game. I made it to the end and my batteries died. I was pissed.
I might have had Earthworm
I don't think
Jim.
I ever played it again after that.
I might have had Earthworm Jim on there too.
Ooh.
I can't. There was one more that I can't remember. I think it might have been Earthworm Jim. That was a fun one. Y'all remember Earthworm Jim?
Oh yeah,
I do. I used to play that all the time in Booger Man.
Booger Man.
Booger Man. Oh no, I do know Booger Man. I think we played that one
here.
night. Yeah.
But do you remember Fight Club?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's circle back.
Yeah.
Circling back. Well, gosh, we could just, like I said, it's one of those movies that I wish we could play on the screen here. And hold on, lengthy comment. This movie came out 7 years before Twitter, where we can have fake usernames and secretly be the person we want, free from judgment. Do you think Fincher foresaw this? We were talking about that earlier, actually.
I don't know if he totally saw it, obviously, but I mean,
I took it as a warning, especially looking back on it.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, there was definitely warnings with this movie. I mean, people in Hollywood know more about a lot of this stuff, and that's why a lot of these movies, they don't want some of it being put out because they put little things in there to make you know the truth.
I mean, it's just been a staple of society for forever, just in different ways. You have the mainstream who has brainwashed you into thinking you need certain things or you have to act a certain way or whatever. And it's the people like Tyler Durden that come along and make you question everything. And you say, hey, I don't have to follow these rules. I don't have to play by their rules and do what they say. I can be free and do what I want to do. And I think that's what he was kind of promoting, was the fact that, he said he was always trying to reach bottom. And that was just releasing all of these constraints and ideals that society has essentially brainwashed us with. And I think it was those ideas that they were kind of looking for, saying, hey guys, if anything, open your eyes and think for yourself.
Yeah. So he says in the movie, society has us working jobs we hate to buy shit we don't need.
Yeah. So many great quotes.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I feel sorry for guys that hacked in the gyms trying to look how Calvin Klein says we should look. So he just questions all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when they're on the bus and he points at the advertisement. He's like, "Is that how a man's supposed to look?"
Mm-hmm. Self-improvement is masturbation.
And the fun thing is, though, is Brad Pitt saying it.
But if you could fight one celebrity, who would you fight?
Are you asking us, or is that rhetorical?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Way. Alive or dead?
Yeah, alive or dead.
There's so many of them.
That's going to take a minute. Keep talking and think about that as we continue.
Right.
There has been other movies like this. Rebel Without a Cause.
I haven't seen that in forever.
That's such a good movie. Fucking classic.
Fuck.
Now we're all trying to think about who we'd fight. Quick, somebody think of something. Pauly Shore. Pauly fucking Shore.
I was waiting for that.
I want to beat the living fucking shit out of Pauly Shore. Pauly fucking Shore. That one comes to mind.
I was surprised you didn't with Jared Leto. You have like a laundry list, Chuck.
I mean, there is. Jared Leto's on there as well. I mean,
he's down a few pigs.
Goes right down to I don't know, everybody. Hollywood is not my favorite place. Not full of my favorite people.
And that's the interesting dynamic about Fight Club was the fact that these guys aren't fighting to win. There's no pride. There's no glory in it. It's essentially like therapy. Like I'm taking my frustrations of life out on you, and you can do the same to me. Or, you know, if the person was more submissive, it's like, oh, I want to be beaten up because I feel like I deserve it because I haven't accomplished anything. You know, it was. Whew.
I mean, there's a metaphor in that.
Nice knowing you, Dave.
Chief.
There's a metaphor in that, you know.
David versus Goliath.
Sometimes you gotta beat the shit out of yourself to actually realize what you're doing wrong, or maybe what you're doing right. Being somebody that's been in a certain mindset the past year and a half, a little over a year and a half now, like sometimes you got to get up, you got to go in there and look at yourself in the fucking mirror, and you may hate everything you see. And that's what you got to beat the shit out of yourself, because you got to get out of that mindset. You can't hate yourself. Now, you can hate yourself a little bit. You can sit there and take basically like a verbal beating, you know, with the cat of nine tails, if you will, and just, you know, just whip the fuck out of yourself. But it becomes purity, because you realize, okay, I know now how I don't need to be. And then the positives show up, and you go, all right, I feel better now. I've been beaten up. I'm a little bruised. I'm a little red. I'm a little bloody. But I feel like I want to go and fucking kick some ass today and tomorrow and the next day, until the next day comes around where I wake up and go, you're a piece of shit. You suck. Da 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 da. Beat the shit out of yourself again. Get up out of it. Out of that mindset. Go to the grind. Do what you got to do. That's what I take from that. That's what I always live with it too. Because that really is how you have to be. Sometimes you have to literally get the shit beaten out of you to realize the mistakes you're making and the points you need to make, and, you know, pushing forward.
And you know, it just goes on to what he says. He's like, every night I died, and every night I was born again. You know, and that's how they felt. You know, it's such an interesting thing. It's like, I mean, you think about it, and you're like, fuck, I would really like to. I wish Fight Club was a real thing. Besides the fact that we'd probably be going to the fucking hospital every week.
Right? I'd like to know what kind of drugs Chuck Palahniuk takes when he writes, because I mean, it's kind of a deep. You know, a deep plot, you know, the whole thing itself. It's just like, I don't know, as a writer, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I mean, I've written some fucked up shit, but I mean, just the whole, I don't know, the whole everything about it. I don't know, just it's.
Well, the sportsmanship in their shit was like, it's even better than like UFC and shit. Cause like, as soon as they get done fighting, they're hugging each other. They're fucking walking out, talking like, you all right, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, like, they even have so much respect for each other because they just know that that's their out. Like, that's their drug.
Yeah.
Well, after the one guy beats up Edward, he slams his face into the pavement.
Yeah.
And he says, stop, stop. So he stops, and the guy's like, hey, man, how about next week?
Right.
And he's like, how about next month?
That guy's even credited as the next week fight. Well, then he said, I think Prisoner 2 was like camping or something, and the people next to his campsite were fucking like being real loud and shit, so we went over to talk to him and shit, and then they ended up jumping him and beating the shit out of him. And he said he went back to like the studio or whatever, like this is like way before Fight Club or whatever, and nobody asked him once like what happened because they were just afraid of the answer. So that's how he kind of got that whole like scenes with Jack or whatever in the office whenever he's just all fucked up and nobody even asks him what happens, period. Like,
right, yeah.
The one scene, like they fucking say his name, he just smiles and his mouth's full of blood, so he's just like, yeah.
That's actually a really funny one too.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Smiles at him and just
Hitler. I'd fight Hitler.
I was like, where are we going with this?
Is that a given? Is that a given? I think everybody would fight Hitler.
I mean, yeah.
All right, Paul McCartney. I'd fight Paul McCartney. Fuck the Beatles.
Nah, fuck Wings. I can't stand Wings. I like some Beatles stuff.
Wings?
Yeah, I don't like Wings. Band on the run. Shut the fuck up.
I picked the one that I could vent on all day long and not do any damage to him at all. And that wouldn't even have to move to He could just pick me up with that big ass hand, and that'd be the end of the fight. Everybody's happy.
Did you pick somebody, Chad?
I have not.
Kenny Rogers?
The roaster? No, I have not. Yeah, I've actually sat about it and thought about this for like the last couple of days, and I'm still just like, I don't know.
We should have asked. We've had time to prepare. We should have posed this question in the chat, so we were more ready for this. I don't know.
Never thought about it.
It's interesting because there's a lot of different things that come into play. It's like, oh,
I'm probably gonna say Jerry Garcia.
Interesting.
Man, it's so funny because Jerry Garcia, like, I'm not a Grateful Dead guy at all, but like, he was in an interview with what made you guys gravitate towards this movie? Is American Psycho between the civil thing. Anniversary.
Right? Yeah, with it being the 25th anniversary, it was one of the ones that popped up, and we wanted to start off the year strong. Unfortunately, due to weather and health issues, we had to push it back a couple weeks. But this is one we wanted to come out swinging, pun intended, for the new year with Fight Club, because it's one of those ones that we all really enjoy.
Yeah, and pretty sure we've been mentioning for months about doing this movie.
And American Psycho is on the radar for this year as well, because it's another one we really love as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But we want to have like a break in between because we don't want to do like 2 Jared Leto movies in a row because
my head might
have an aneurysm.
No more Jared Leto movies. Instead of wire hangers, get that? And
starting next week, 30 Seconds to Mars is doing our intro.
Oh, great.
He's like, here's my papers, I resign.
Well, it was fun, guys.
I am Jack's inflamed sense of rejection.
God, there's still a lot we haven't touched on. Maybe we'll come back to this movie. I mean, the anniversary was in October. Maybe we'll come back to it. Well, that'll be Halloween month, though. I don't know.
Halloween will be tough. There's a lot of shit coming up.
But any final thoughts to Fight Club before we do our clip of the week?
If you haven't seen it, I advise you see it. Like we said, we haven't talked about a lot because there's a lot to talk about. You got to kind of make your own opinion on this movie. So it's like tough to kind of grasp every aspect of the film and get your own thoughts because they're needed.
It's one of those ones, like I said, that I love. You can watch it every time. Doesn't get old. You can always watch it and look for something new, and you might see. You could always see something new at every viewing. All the like we said, the details. Another masterpiece by Fincher. Amazing acting. Norton, Pitt, Carter. Everybody. Whole cast does it.
Pitt, Carter.
What's his name? The guy from Mindhunter is in this. I had forgotten because he, it's so long ago that he's younger. The Holt, what is his name? Holt McCallany, I think his name. He's in. The two main guys from Mindhunter. You got Jonathan Groff, and then the other guy.
Yeah,
that's him. He's well, he's in this film.
All right.
You've seen Mindhunter, right?
Long time ago. I think I saw it out at Gary's one night.
Good stuff.
Mindhunter, the fucking Netflix show, just came out a few years ago. Hello. Is my microphone on?
No, I thought you were talking about something else.
Hey, hear me now.
I was like, did you say you watched it at Jerry's? The person or a restaurant?
I thought you meant that.
I ate at Jerry's Pizza
with a soft G.
I thought you were talking about that Silence of the Lambs movie.
No. Oh, Manhunt. That's Manhunter. Yeah, Manhunt. That's a good one too.
Hunter, that was a good TV show.
I was just thinking that.
Manhunter was a good one.
That's
Go. I know you won't, but you can go watch Mindhunter on Netflix.
it is a good. I need to watch the second season.
Second season. I don't know.
Is that the shit with the fucking detectives doing the serial killer shit? Okay, yeah. I've seen that. Yeah. How you doing? I'm back in the party.
Chad has entered the chat.
Oh, my brain's full of shit.
The hard drive's full. You know what I'm saying?
Decompressed.
But yeah, he's in this film. He's the guy who does the whole Robert Paulson speech.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it is him.
Yeah,
He's been in a lot. He's another actor that's in a
I'm
lot
back.
of shit, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, Holt McCallany.
Holt McCallany.
I knew that guy looked familiar. That's like today. I was showing Dave an episode of Ted, and he was like, "Hey, it's Bradley Brown," and I was like, "That's who that fucking dad is," because the dad's Bradley Brown from Critters 2 and 1.
Is it the older guy? Is it the older guy that's in it from Mindhunter?
The dad?
Like
dude
in
with
from
red hair.
Mindhunter, is it the older guy or the younger guy that's in?
Older guy. Jonathan Groff's the younger guy.
He was also in Creepshow 2.
There you go.
He was the guy with the long hair that gets killed by the big wooden Indian thing.
I'm confused. Oh, I love that one. That's the one George Kennedy was in too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I
guy.
hated Creepshow 2, but
Wasn't he the dad in Little Giants? With Spike?
Yeah, he's been in a lot of shit.
I couldn't tell you about that when it's been years since I watched
Oh,
that.
that movie's great. It's the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Did you get the
Because you
picture?
got titties now, don't
Rick
mean you can say
Moranis
what he
and
was.
Ed O'Neill. Can't go wrong.
Oh,
Did you bring up the picture, Dave?
you didn't see it?
Oh,
I'll bring it up again.
no, I was pulling up the other one. So that's him in Mindhunter, and then going back, this is him in Fight Club. So
Oh yeah, okay. He's been in a
Okay.
few things where I'm like, oh yeah, who's that
Mhm.
dude?
He's one of them guys.
one of them guys.
One of those fellas.
Lots of credentials. Don't know where he's from.
Get the fuck off my porch. That's a great scene. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna come back out with a shovel.
God,
You-
there's so many. And
You're
he's
too-
the
you're
gorilla
too-
terrorist of the food service industry.
You're too fucking blonde.
It's like a monkey ready to be shipped into space.
Oh man, space
And poor
monkey.
Bob, he says all that shit to him at first as Brad
Should have
Pitt.
shaved your head on this episode.
And-
That'd been great.
I got to keep it long for episode 100. I'm growing it out a little bit. We'll get to that.
Yeah, me too.
But then he comes back out as the Edward Norton character, and he's like, "Oh, Bob, come back. It's like, what a fucking psychopath."
Sweetheart Bob.
Yeah,
Great.
you really hate it when he dies, but you kind of sense it's going to happen.
And it's so brutal because they take the ski mask off, and then is like the blood just
Oh,
pours
yeah.
out, and you see
Yeah.
the back of his head blown off. It's like, oh fuck, man. Fucking Bob. They shot Bob.
They
Shot him in
Bob.
the head.
Poor Bob.
need a hug,
All right.
Cornelius?
Again, any final thoughts of Fight Club before we do our clip of the week?
Watch it.
Your clerks recommend it.
Yes.
Highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it, man. That's like I said, it's probably one of my favorite films of all time. It's so good.
Same.
What do you think? Where do
Okay.
you think? Where do you think Tyler and Marla are? Because it ends with
Dead.
the downfall.
I thought there was a sequel. He wrote
I
another
know
book,
he wrote. Yeah, I know
He
there
did
was a
play,
Fight
yeah.
Club too.
and they had a kid.
Oh, I never.
That's
yeah,
all I
never read
know. They had a
it.
kid.
I forgot about that shit.
I never read it though, but that's all I know about it.
It's uplifting. You see all the places get blown up, and we all
Such
go
a
back
cool
to zero.
shot, too.
We all
Yeah,
go
One
back
of
to
the
zero.
endings, though, they just had like that little thing about like what actually happened. They didn't actually show the bombs blow up, and then it just said that like the police stopped all the bombs. They found out who did it. Then they got arrested, and then Tyler got arrested into the psych ward, and then he was released in 2012.
They were robbed.
He fucking shoots
I was
himself
like,
in the mouth.
No,
Oh man, so good.
It's
So
pretty
fucking
brutal.
God damn, I miss movies like this, man.
the whole scene where they're fighting around the bomb, that shit fucking cracks me up too. Whoa! Whoa! Fire the weapon near the nuclear weapon.
Yeah, you just shot a gun at your imaginary friend.
That's how how they keep cutting back and forth too between like the actual
Yeah,
fight
That's cool.
and then just
And
seeing him just fucking like getting drug around the fucking parking garage.
Yeah, I'm just picturing obviously there was no surveillance security in
Doesn't-
there.
Doesn't
But
John
you-
Travolta? Sorry,
John Travolta.
John Travolta in was it Burning Arrow? What is the movie called?
Oh, Broken Arrow?
Broken Arrow, where they're firing, and John Travolta's like, "Can we not shoot at the large nuclear weapon, please?"
I had no idea where you were going with John Travolta at first, but now, okay, I got you.
Yeah, he makes an appearance. Anybody not see him?
He's just like John Travolta.
What if we had a new Fight Club with John Travolta and Nick Cage?
Ooh.
I mean, I would be so okay with
Everybody's thinking.
So many
I'd be okay
ideas.
with that. I'd be okay with that. I think John Travolta's a fucking loon anymore. Him and his fucking Scientologist buddies. They can go fuck themselves. Hey, go fuck yourselves. That's what I would say.
Oh. John Travolta threw me off.
He came out of nowhere.
Oh, fucking evil laugh. It's like, gotcha, bitch.
I mean, on a long enough timeline, everybody's survival rate drops to 0.
True.
Oh fuck! I got it. Shit, I lost it. In his fight with Lou, when he's punching him.
No.
Okay.
Follow.
Sticking feathers up your butt does not make you a chicken.
What to? Were there alternate endings to the movie? I thought the theater ending was him getting beat to death in the police precinct for talking about Fight Club.
No, that happens, but
That's whenever he goes to the police station and they try to get his nuts.
Yeah.
And then he escapes. Then he's running around.
Told us you were going to say that.
Boxers on.
Boxers waving a gun around.
Yeah.
Such a good job, too. Norton just running around in his boxers looking like a fucking lunatic. It just, his mannerisms, everything he does.
It's so relatable.
Hate when that happens.
Imagine just like seeing them film that scene and have no idea what's going on.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? I saw a bunch of cops and some guy running down the street in his drawers fucking with a gun.
But the book ended with him being in a mental institution.
Yeah.
And the workers there were part of Fight Club, and they were going to get him out, if I remember right. I think that was one of the only differences between the book and the movie. The movie was just paced better, I feel like. And this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes. God damn, it doesn't feel like it.
It really does. And it goes by quick.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever realized it was that long until I watched it a couple weeks ago.
That's because there's no real slow points. It just keeps fucking building and building and building.
Yeah.
And the payoff is satisfied, which is something that I feel like we haven't gotten for movies in a while.
True. I wonder if we'll get that with the clip of the week. Especially
Maybe.
I don't even remember what it is. Not that I knew before because I programmed the random clip generator.
Wait.
Kayfabe, pal. Kayfabe. It is now time for our random clip of the week, in which our random clip generator is programmed to produce a random clip from a random movie, and we see what happens. Let's see what happens this week.
So you don't know which clips you put in, eh?
What do you know about high society?
Oh, well,
Don't answer that. My society photographer got hit in the head by a polo ball. You're all I got. Big party for an American hero. My son, the astronaut.
Could you pay me in advance?
Is that Vince McMahon?
You serious? Pay you for what? Standing there? The planetarium tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. There's the door.
Well, there you have it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's a good scene.
That was
I
random.
forget that actor's name, but
Is Tobey Maguire?
I was just thinking that.
The other one.
Oh,
He's in a movie about drummers that I really like called Whiplash. He plays.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's a damn good movie, and he is one hell of an asshole in that movie.
Radio Raheem. I don't get it. I'm sorry.
what happened?
Who's Radio Raheem?
Raheem?
I do not know.
Raheem.
I feel like I'm missing something.
And we have a little bit of business before we depart for the evening and close the store up. First,
A.K. Simmons.
I'm getting your books out, Sean. Available now on Amazon.
If you want to read a book from a different Chuck,
Yeah, you should check out those. Thirsty, House of Flesh, and Sludge are out now. Sludge is the anthology with Stuart Bray and Jason Nickey. Let's see here. February 5th, I have my new one coming out. Oh, okay.
Haven't seen that movie in a long time.
But no, February 5th, I have my new release coming out. Going to Hell. Fresh Kills Volume 1. There it is. Cool cover.
is that a tribute to Meatloaf?
No, but it might be in the sequel. And then something that I've been working on is a story for Jewish Sonnets Gasps, which is extreme splatterpunk writers writing what's known as like soft horror, quiet horror, which is basically more for the thrills and chills than the gore and the overly extreme stuff. So she just announced that I'm one of the writers on there. I can't really go into who else is on there yet, but it's kind of an honor to be on it. There's a lot of good people, a lot of big names. It's a complete honor to be on. I'm kind of blown away, but sent my story in for it today, and she said it was awesome. So it's probably I've been told it's one of the best, one of the best stories that one of my friends have ever read for me, and he's read out everything that I've done just about. So pretty proud of it. So be looking for the gas won't be out till probably next summer, but February 5th is when Going to Hell comes out, and then I've got a couple other anthologies that'll be out, and I'll talk more about those when I get the screenshot for the cover of one of them to you for next week. But yeah, Amazon, Chuck Nasty, that's me. Check my shit out. Bastard Sons of
Links in the description.
Yeah, and Bastard Sons of Judascope, my band, and then you got Graveyard Talk with me and Whitman, and Nasty Nation, and yeah, I think that's.
Good.
I do a lot of shit, so just look all that up.
There's some shit down there.
Buy my books.
In the description.
And coming up next week, what are we doing next week? Where are we going?
We're going to Boston.
Boston.
Shipping up to Boston.
Boondock Saints.
Yeah. The Boondock Saints will be episode 99, and then the week after that, we will be celebrating our 100th episode.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Should be fun.
Oh, it will be.
Should be fun.
It's crazy. I'll actually be flying back from Boston that next week on Tuesday before we do the show. It's crazy.
Boston.
What was the number? I didn't hear what was the number.
I'm going to fucking Boston. Go swing by the Royal Rumble first, though. You can check out some of the clips on Laser Trading Company YouTube.
So make sure you head over there and show Mike some love by hitting that subscribe button. And before you do that, make sure you like and subscribe to the Video Store Clerks channel.
Oh, they got to like the Video Store Clerks first? They can't like me first? It doesn't fucking matter.
I do need to do one other thing I got to say.
You got to do?
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe of the mouth. I don't know. Unveiling Nightmares is who is putting out Going to Hell. A lot of great authors on there. You can look that up for the books, as well as there is a YouTube page you can go to as well. So
Is somebody hitting a microphone?
Me.
Oh, I'm like, where?
Oh,
what
now
the,
here. I was like,
what the fuck is going on here? I just kept hearing. Oh,
and also in the description are all those YouTube links, and our social media handles are in there as well. Give us a follow. We're fun.
If you can handle it.
You can handle it, motherfucker.
All right, so that's it for tonight. Let's get out of here. Let's lock the store. I got to put it in order and tear up a few memberships for not rewinding tapes. So until next week, we are your Video Store Clerks. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Fun as always. I missed you guys. I missed the store. It's good to be back.
Good to be back.
It's good to be back.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.